Hello everyone. This session is being recorded by Department of Communication Studies and published by New Arts Commerce Science College, Ahmednagar. Myself, Professor Bharti Danve. I am working as an assistant lecturer in Computer Science Department. Hello friends. In this session, we are going to focus on the topic kinds of cybercrime. Last session we have seen malware and types of malware practices. Kinds of cybercrime. In this session, we are going to focus on different types of cybercrime and the practices under this cybercrime which is being performed by the peoples. First, we'll see what do you mean by a cyber stalking. Cyber stalking is a cyber criminal which uses the internet to consistently threaten the somebody. Cyber stalking can even occur in conjunction with the additional ancient types of stalking wherever the bad person harasses the victim offline. There is no unified legal approach to cyber stalking. However, several governments have moved towards creating these practices punishable by the law. Social media, images, sharing sites, and lots of the different ordinary using online sharing activities offer these cyber stalkers with a wealth of data that helps them to arrange their harassment. It also includes actions like false It also includes action like false accusation, fraud, information destruction, threats to the life, and manipulation through threats of exposure. Cyber stalking is a type of is typically cited as internet stalking or e-stalking or online stalking. Types of the cyber stalking. It is a webcam hijacking. Now, what do I mean by actually a webcam hijacking? Internet stalkers would attempt to trick you into downloading and putting in a malware infected file that may grant them access to your webcam. The method is therefore sneaky that it wouldn't suspect anything strange. The second type is the observing the location check-ins on the social media. In case you are adding a location check-in to your Facebook post, you are making it overly simple for an internet stalker to follow you by just looking through your social media profiles. And third one is the catfishing. Catfishing happens through the social media sites, for example, Facebook, when internet stalkers make counterfeit user profiles and approach their victim as a companion of a companion. Now, what are the protective measures that you can undergo for this cyber stalking? First is that logging out of the PC when you are not in use. Remove any feature events you are close to attending from a social network. Set a strong distinctive password for your online accounts. Next type of cybercrime is a child pornography. Cyber child pornography is an increasingly visible problem in the society today. With the growth in the home personal computer uses and more readily available access to the World Wide Web over the past decade, child pornographers have found a convenient venue for sharing the horrific picture of a child being sexually abused. Child pornography is a form of a child sexual exploitation Federal law defines child pornography as any visual depiction of sexually explicit conduct involving a minor, that is a person less than 18-year-old. Images of this child pornography are also referred to as a child sexual abuse images. Federal law prohibits the production, distribution, importation, reception, or possession of any image of child pornography. A violation of a federal child pornography law is a serious crime and convicted offenders face fines. Next type is forgery or counterfeiting. Now, what is this forgery and counterfeiting? Whenever a perpetrator alters the document stored in a computerized form, the crime committed may be forgery. In this instance, computer systems are the target of this criminal activity. Computer, however, can also be used as an instrument with which to commit this forgery. Forgery deals with an unlawful altering the genuine documents, whereas counterfeiting deals with making a false money, securities, and sometimes consumer products. Forgery is a crime while counterfeiting is a criminal intent. Next type will go for is the software piracy. Software piracy is an illegal approach of copying, distributing, modifying, selling, or using the software which is legally protected. So, in a simple term, we can use a software piracy in the act of stealing the legal software in an illegal way. This software piracy refers to an unauthorized copy and use of a legal software. And now this critical problem has turned into the global issue. There are certain regulations being provided for this software piracy. Software piracy is an illegal and there are strict laws for these illegal activities. So monetary penalties are also there for these lawbreakers who breaks these copyrights law and creates copyright violation. End user license agreement is a license agreement which is mostly used for a software to protect its legality. It is a contract between the manufacturer and the end user. This rule defines the rule for the legal software. One common rule in EULA is that it prevents the user from sharing the software with the others. The full form of the EULA is End User License Agreement. Now, what are the types of software piracy? Generally, there are 5 types of software piracy. Each of this software piracy is explained here now. First, we'll see the soft lifting. Soft lifting, it is the most common type of software piracy. In this, the legal owner of the software is the one, but the users are multiple. For instance, someone purchases the genuine software and other will illegally use that particular software by downloading the software to their computer. Now, for example, we can discuss for this is that many times we borrow the software from our colleagues and install the copy of that on a computer just to save the money, which rises to the soft lifting, one type of software piracy. Second is hard disk loading. It is again a most common type of software piracy which mainly happens in a PC resale shop. The shop owner buys a legal copy of a software and reproduces its copies in multiple computers by installing it. Most of the time, computer or the PC user are not aware of these types of things and get the pirated version of software in the original software price or less than the original price. It is one type of a commercial software piracy. Next is the counterfeiting. In counterfeiting, the duplicates are created of a genuine or a legal software program which with the appearance of that authenticity. This duplicate software is sold out in the less price. Then the fourth one is the client server overuse. In client-server overuse, most copies of software are installed than it has been licensed for. Mainly, it has seen in the local business sector when they work under the local area network and install the software in all the computers for the use by the number of employees, which is an unauthorized practice. And the last type is the online piracy. In online piracy, the illegal software is acquired from an online auction site and blogs, which is mainly achieved through the P2P network type. That is we call it as a P2P, peer-to-peer file sharing system. As it is acquired by the means of internet, oftenly we call it as an internet piracy. Now this software piracy is dangerous, we can say it, because many times it fails or it malfunctions. No warranty of the product as it is acquired by the illegal way. Risk of security issue is also there, and no upgrade and improvement in the features and functionality. There is also high risk of virus and malware infection to the computer. Next type of cybercrime is the cyber terrorism. Cyber terrorism mainly involves damaging the large-scale computer network to achieve the loss of data, even a loss of life also. Hackers make use of these computer viruses, spyware, malware, ransomware, phishing, programming language, script, and other malicious software to achieve their purpose. All these type of cyber attacks, which often leads to a criminal offenses, are referred to as cyber terrorism. These cyber attacks create panic and physical damage to the large number of people. This cyber terrorism deals with creating damage to the people and also their data using computer network intentionally in order to achieve their meaningful purpose. Government agencies like FBI, we call it as a Federal Bureau of Investigation, and CIA, that is a Central Intelligence Agency, in the past have detected multiple cyber attacks and cyber crime through the terrorist organization. The main purpose behind carrying out this cyber terrorism is to carry out some cyber attacks that makes a threat. Now, cyber attacks. Cyber terrorism attacks includes generally unauthorized access. Attackers aim to disrupt and damage all means of access to the services. Instead, the hacker gains unauthorized access to the important resources of the computer. Next is the disruption. These attacks focus on disrupting public website and critical infrastructure resources to create a fear within the society of a massive fatalities and commotion. The next is a cyber espionage. The government usually carry out some spyware operations on other government of other countries related to the military equipment to gain an advantages over rival nations in terms of military intelligence. Next is the economic failure. Cyber criminals wants all the technical system failure to cause a large scale of economic failure like crashing the electricity or water system for multiple days to create a panic of these services within the society. Now the question comes how to prevent this cyber terrorism attack. We can prevent this situation in different ways. First, we can say that the government must regulate all the cyber criminal activities and make stricter rules regarding its violation. There must be some public education about these activities. We can also go for using VPNs that helps us to use private and protected network setup that is difficult to crack by the hackers. We can also use the strong password with this strong combination of alphabets, strings and some numbers into it. Features like two-factor authentication also play an important role in this thing. Don't open any unknown links, URLs, website and spam mail that may contain harmful than infected files in it. It may also harm the entire computer system. The next type of the cybercrime is phishing. Phishing is one type of a cyber attack. Phishing got its name from a fish, meaning a fish. It is a common phenomena to put a bait for a fish to get trapped. Similarly, phishing works. It is an unethical way to dupe the user or a victim to click on the harmful websites. The attacker crafts the harmful sites in such a way that the victim feels that it is an authentic site, thus falling prey to it. The most common mode of phishing is by sending the spam mails that appear to be authentic and thus taking away all credentials from the victim. The main motive of attacker behind this phishing is to gain the confidential information like we can say a password, then credit card details, social security numbers, date of the birth and so on. The most common type of phishing attack happens through the emails. Phishing victims are tricked into revealing the information that they think should be kept private. The original logo of the email is used to make the user believe that it is indeed the original website or original mail. Now we will see the type of the phishing attacks. There are several types of phishing attacks. We will see one by one. First one, email phishing. The most common type where users are tricked into clicking unverified spam emails and leaking secret data. Hackers impersonate a legitimate identity and send the emails to the mass victim. Generally, the goal of the attacker is to get the personal details like bank details, credit card number, user ID and password of any online shopping website, installing the malware, etc. After getting the personal information, they use this information to steal the money from the user account or harm the target system and so on. Second type is the spear phishing. In this type of phishing attack, a particular user, we can call it as an organization also and an individual user also, is a target. In this method, the attacker first gets the full information of the target and then send the malicious email to his or her inbox to trap him into the typing confidential data. For example, the attacker targets someone, let's assume an employee from the finance department from some organization. And then the attacker pretends to be like a manager of that employee and then requests the personal information or to transfer a large sum of money. It is a most successful attack that the attackers can do. Third type is a walling. Walling is just like we can say a spear phishing, but the main target is the head of the company, like CEO. Here, the email is sent to such an executive so that they don't have much time to think, therefore falling into the prey to phishing. Next is the smishing. Smishing, this type of phishing attack, in this, we can say it works with the SMS. It works similarly to the email phishing also. SMS texts are sent to the victim containing the link to phished website or invites the victim to call a phone number or to contact the sender by using some emails. The victim is then invited to enter some personal information like bank details, credit card details and so on, user ID and password. Then using this information, the attacker harms the victim. Next is the phishing. It is also known as a voice phishing. In this method, the attacker calls the victim using the modern caller ID spoofing to convince the victim that the call is from a trusted source. Attacker use this the attackers also use IVR to make it difficult for the legal authorities to trace the attacker. It generally used to steal some credit card numbers, some confidential data from the victim. Next is the clone phishing. In this type of phishing attack, the attacker copies the email messages that were sent from some trusted source, we can say, and then alters the information by adding a link that redirects the victim to a malicious or a fake website. Now the attacker sends this mail to the large number of users and then wait to watch who clicks this attachment or who clicks on this attachment that was sent to in the email. It spread the contact. It is generally spread through the contacts of the user who has clicked that attachment. Now, how to stay protected from this particular phishing? Until now, we have seen how a user becomes so vulnerable due to the phishing. But with the proper precautions, one can also avoid such scams. So we can go for using or utilizing some practices such as download the software from an authorized source only. Never share your private details with an unknown link. Always check the URL of the website to prevent any such attack. If you receive an email from an unknown source but that email looks suspicious, then contact the source with a new email rather than using the reply option. Try to avoid posting your personal information like phone number, addresses, etc. on the social media. Use the phishing detection tools to monitor the website that are crafted and contain unauthentic contents. Try to avoid the free Wi-Fi. Keep your system updated. Keep the firewall of your system always on. Next we'll go next type of cybercrime, that is in computer vandalism. Computer vandalism is a process in which a program has the ability to perform malicious tasks such as getting someone's password and some important data. This can also include a removal of user data or deleting someone's hard drive data also. Next, spamming. Spamming is the use of an electronic messaging system like email and other digital delivery system and broadcast media to send unwanted bulk messages indiscriminately. The term spamming is also applied to other media like internet forum, instant messaging and mobile text messaging, social networking spam, junk fax transmission, television advertising and some sharing network spam also. Next we'll go for the cross-site website. The cross-site website is an attack which occurs when a cyber criminal inject malicious script into the targeted website content, which is then included with a dynamic content delivered to the victim browser. The victim browser also has no way of knowing that this malicious script and they can't be trusted and therefore executes them. Examples of reflected cross-site web scripting attacks can include when an attacker stores the malicious script in a data sent from a website search or a contact form. A typical example of a reflected cross-site scripting is a search form. In a search form, when a visitor sends their search query to the server and only they see the result. So this can be one type of a cross-site scripting fraud. Next, type of a cybercrime is an online auction fraud. Now, what is this online auction fraud? Internet auction fraud involves fraudulent advertisement on auction sites such as eBay or Gumtree. A seller is selling goods that do not exist or is selling one item to everyone who bid on that item, saving the person who won the auction no longer wants the good and they are the next higher bidder here. Next, we'll go for the cyber squatting. The term cyber squatting refers to the unauthorized registration and use of internet domain names that are identical or smaller to the trademarks, service mark, company name or personal name also. Next, we'll see what is a salami attack. A salami attack is a method of a cyber crime that the attackers or the hacker typically used to commit the financial crimes. Cyber criminals steal the money or resources from any financial account on a system one at a time. This attack occurs when several minor attacks combine to create the sturdy attack. Because of this type of cyber crime, these attacks frequently go undetected. Salami attack are used for the commission of economic crimes. Those who are found guilty of such an attack face punishment under the section 66 of an IT Act. Next type of cybercrime is data diddling. Data diddling is a type of cybercrime in which a data is altered as it is entered into the computer system, most often by the data entry clerk or by the computer virus. Computerized processing of altered data result in a fraudulent benefits. In some cases, this altered data is changed back after processing to conceal the activity. This result can be huge. They might include adjusting the financial figures up and down marginally, or it can also include some more complex and it also includes some more complex data, and entire system is also unusable in such cases. Next is an email spoofing. Email spoofing is a form of a cyber attack in which a hacker sends an email that has been manipulated to seem as if it is originated from a trusted source. Email spoofing is a popular tactic which is used in phishing and a spam campaign because people are more likely to open an email when they think it has been sent by some known sender. The goal of an email spoofing is to trick the recipients into opening or responding to their messages. This is all we have seen. So up till now we have seen the malware, types of the malware and kinds of software. So there are kinds of cyber crimes. Thank you.